many hours are you pulling after a full day of teaching at that point?
Even just an hour or hour and a half. That's often all it was. It was, because then, my wife would get home from work and we'd start dinner and we'd just do our own thing. So it was often not very much, but it was just to make sure that when I got home, almost in the same way now, when I begin my work day, I just try to be very intentional about not checking email, not getting on social media, not getting pulled by it's like the anti-muse. It's that little devilish, pesky creature that wants to keep you from doing your work and tries to tell you, maybe you should start some laundry. Maybe you should clean up the kitchen first. And it's just being committed to no. Once you start, you're more likely to stick with it. And so that coming home from school and really not getting distracted by other things, not even changing clothes from work, just starting right into writing, was helpful to make that habitual. That's what it becomes. It becomes an everyday habit, and it doesn't feel right if you don't do it. So.
Of course, at this point, you have to have, and you do maintain your website and some sort of social media presence. And then, of course, promotion is a never-ending thing that has to be involved. So how much non-writing stuff are you doing? You mentioned that you don't do most of it until after 3:30. Right. Your daughter comes home and you're done writing for the day. But how many more hours is that you have to work that in? And what are you finding most effective?
Yeah, it varies. I will say that I'm terrible at the marketing and promotion, and even being on social media. I'm not naturally drawn to it that much, and so I don't get on nearly as much. My wife is always, telling me that I really need to be doing a lot more to get out there on that publicity side, and I don't do it nearly enough. But I do try to make that part of that work side. But a lot of the non-business things that I'm doing tend to be related to school visits or setting up talks and presentations. And I think I put a lot of energy into that because I enjoy that, and I feel like I'm more effective at that. I think that as writers, we can't do it all. That there's so many people that will tell you should be maintaining a Twitter account, or you should be starting a blog, or you should start your own YouTube channel. And you'll hear so many things, and you just can't do it all. And so I feel it's best to play to your strengths. And I'm often better at going out and doing school visits than I am at having a dedicated promotion practice on. Surely as you get out and you talk to other artists who are doing what you're doing, you're going to feel bad about yourself and all the things that you feel like you should be doing more of. And that's just inevitable. And you can't compare yourself to other writers. And I really try not. I mean, yes, it gets to me too sometimes. And yes, I might, if I'm at a literary festival with a bunch of other writers and I hear all the crazy marketing and publicity stuff that they're doing, I come away with this big knot in my stomach, feeling like, oh gosh, why, I should really be doing all that stuff too. And then I don't, because I really just enjoy the creative side so much more and enjoy the getting out to schools. And so, yes, maybe I should be doing more of that stuff, but I tend to just do the things that I enjoy professionally and creatively. So,
fortunately for me, I burned myself through some of that early on, because when I was, in my early 20s, I was looking at, okay, Stephen King was, I think, 25, 26 when Carrie hit. How do I'm in the race against King. I mean, I've lost that race. He wins.
Yeah,
I've just decided let's not try to be the greatest writer of all time. Let's just be the greatest Rob that I could possibly be. That's a pretty good goal.
Man. That is part of that negative self-talk that we as creatives often do. There's those little things that just want to creep up in your thoughts and in your mind that try to tear down all the good things that you're doing. So yeah, I try to avoid listening to any of that as much as possible. So
I was kind of writing excuses, just dressed up a little bit with a bit more nastiness. Yeah. Because, of course, what you're telling yourself is, because I'm terrible at all of these things, that's why I don't have to write today. Why bother? I'm terrible.
Yeah. Right.
Netflix it is.
Yeah. And I love that Kristen Kishore, who wrote Graceling. I feel like I read an interview with her. I forgot where I heard it, but she was talking a lot about that kind of those negative self-talk that people do. And she had a great way of putting it, which was like she almost imagines it's like this jerk who has insinuated himself into her office, and she lets him sit there. He can run his mouth all he wants because she can't get rid of him. You know, that negative self-talk, we all do it. But she just tries to externalize it and to say, you can talk all you want, but I'm not going to listen to you. I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to stay focused on the task at hand. So, I always loved that. I like that idea of externalizing it because it is coming from us. You know, it's that negative.
Well, that's when writing horror comes in handy, at least for me, because I know the voice of the monster. Oh, I've heard that one before.
Yeah.
Just right. That over there.
Yes, maybe that was Voldemort for J.K. Rowling. You know, it's just that voice, that negative self-talk in her head.
Well, I bet that's probably true, and that's probably part of the mental connection between Harry and Voldemort. There's Voldemort messing me up when I'm trying to.
Yeah, exactly.